Viewer beware.
Hey all my MySpace friends, and welcome back to Viewer Beware. It's the only show where we go over each and every episode of the original Goosebumps TV series, and today we are watching The Ghost Next Door. This is not the first episode of Season 4, but our start to Season 4. From here on out, every episode is going to be a two-parter with a lot larger of a budget, so there's going to be some quality here.
The Long Boys, as you said before.
Exactly, and I stand by it. The Ghost Next Door goes back to some supernatural roots, sort of similar to the Headless Ghost or Ghost Beach. You know, kids meet the ghosts of other kids that have died in unfortunate events, and then hijinks ensue.
Feels like they go back to that well a little too often.
Hey, a classic ghost story is hard to beat, especially in the realm of children's horror. Now, The Ghost Next Door is about a girl that's suspicious of her new neighbor when things aren't quite adding up. And sure, we've seen it before, but have we seen it with deadly stink bombs from the coolest guys in town? I don't think so. So, with that, let's unpack all of our boxes and meet The Ghost Next Door. We begin with our lead character Hannah waking up to the sound of crackling flames, but it's quickly revealed to be a dream. Fire! Hannah must have fallen asleep writing an email to her friend, which she continues to write once she wakes up. In the email, Hannah is complaining about how alone she feels with all her friends away at camp, but she gets distracted by a ghostly voice calling her name.
Sometimes I think I'm going a little crazy around here. Anyway, have you met any cute boys yet?
Hannah rushes to find her parents, but they are nowhere to be found because baseball is tonight. Whatever that means. She does the next best thing and calls 911, but even that call goes strangely.
Are you gonna send somebody? Hello?
Hello, this is 911. Do you have an emergency?
Hello?
Hello, 911. Do you have an emergency?
Yes, I have an emergency. I just told you. Aren't you listening to me?
Hello? Hello? Is anyone on the line?
With no help from parents or police, Hannah decides to leave the house, but gets disoriented running before falling in front of a kid she's never seen before.
You know, where I come from, we usually just say hello.
This new boy is Danny, who just moved to town. He's immediately skeptical of Hannah's claim that there's a ghostly stalker outside of her house, and he wants to investigate. Danny runs around the perimeter of the house to check things out, but doesn't discover anything supernatural, but he does reveal that he just moved in next door to her.
I live here.
No way. Nobody's lived in that old place for years.
Somebody does now.
That's impossible. I live over at 49. I know everything that happens in this neighborhood. I would have seen you moving in.
Guess we caught you when you weren't looking.
After the kids officially introduce themselves, Hannah and Danny go back to their homes and sleep for the night. The next day, Hannah writes another email to her friend at camp about the new boy she just met, before she hears the sound of the mailman and chases him down, but he completely ignores her. As the mailman drives off, Hannah sees Danny about to ride his bike into the road and warns him at the last second. Danny thanks Hannah before biking off after his other friends, leaving her alone yet again. Hannah decides to write another email to her friend about how she is suspicious of Danny and is going to check out his house later on. But when she tries to do this, she is immediately caught. Hannah just straight up asks Danny to go inside his house, which he quickly tells her no.
Could I check out your house? I bet you really fixed it up.
No. I mean, not right now. It's kind of a mess, you know.
Then he runs off telling her he wants to show her something. Hannah tries to follow him and sees an open cellar door that's beckoning her name. Hannah. Assuming this to be Danny, Hannah enters the random basement, but can't find him anywhere. The further she gets into the basement, the louder the voice gets, until she sees a shadowy figure up close and personal. Hannah runs out of the cellar as fast as she can and sees Danny out in the yard wondering where she went.
You!
So now Hannah is sure Danny is a ghost and wants to tell her parents, who are still nowhere to be found. But there's no time to think about that now. There's a ghost invasion that she has to look into. Using the power of the internet, Hannah discovers that there was a recent house fire on the street her and Danny live on, where there were no survivors of the incident. The next day, she goes to Danny's house to confront him about this revelation and just lets herself in the front door. The house is pretty bare and only lit by candlelight, which tracks with what Danny had said earlier about moving in suddenly and not having the utilities connected yet. Hannah walks through the house and discovers Danny's mom, but when she tries to talk to her, she's just ignored completely.
So, I guess you're Danny's mom? I'm Hannah, your neighbor? He must have told you about me. Or not. Mrs. Anderson?
Hannah deduces that Danny's mom is ignoring her because she's a ghost too, when Danny catches her snooping again.
And why does she act like we're not even here? You don't live in this house. You're haunting it.
Well, you found us out.
I sure did.
Yeah, you figured out that our electricity hasn't been turned on yet, so we can't use the stove, and that's also why we need candles. And my mother hasn't been listening to a word we've said because she's deaf.
She's what?
Hannah runs off embarrassed, but Danny catches her before she leaves, and both kids apologize. Danny is sorry for being so cryptic about keeping her away from the house, and Hannah apologized for thinking he was dead. Hannah shows Danny the news story about the fire and reveals why she thought what she did before leaving. Danny sees some concerning information and chases Hannah down the street.
You said you lived at 49, right?
Right.
But you can't live there.
Why not?
Because 49 Cordina Way burned down 3 years ago.
That's impossible. My house is right here. No!
Hannah, don't! It's not safe!
So Hannah was the ghost next door the entire time. The crackling we heard in the intro wasn't just a dream, it was the last thing she experienced when she was alive.
That's incredibly depressing.
It is, but all the pieces seem to slot into place now. Why Hannah couldn't find her parents. Why Hannah couldn't get the attention of the 911 operator or the mailman. Why Hannah's totally out of the loop on all these new kids in the neighborhood. Now, if you ask me, this could be an entire episode right here. But we still have a part 2, so what do we have left to discover?
How the ghost's house still had internet connection after being burned down for 3 years?
Yeah, that is surprising, but I think that's more of a plot oversight than a plot point. I'm talking about the Shadow Man. Who is he? What does he want? I'm assuming he's sort of an allegory for the Grim Reaper, where he's here to collect the soul of the dead girl, but we still have a whole part 2 to explain everything to us, so let's just jump right back into it.
Danny, are you coming? Danny!
As Hannah walks inside her once beautiful home, it is now burnt to ashes and completely destroyed. While Hannah is coming to terms with the fact that she's all alone, the Shadow Man approaches her again.
Why have you been following me?
I must speak with you, and I didn't want to scare you.
Well, he did a very bad job of that so far, but I guess it's all in the past now. The Shadow Man wants to teach Hannah how to be a ghost, claiming that up to this point, she was simply living out her same routines, unaware at the time passing her by. But now that she's aware of her ghostly status, nobody can see her. When Hannah asks about Danny, the Shadow Man tells her to stay away from him. Rather odd, but ghosts can be that way sometimes. So Hannah immediately goes to Danny.
Hi.
Go away!
Danny is horrified of what is happening, but Hannah wants to know why he's the only one who can talk to her. Danny, however, doesn't care and kicks her out, causing Hannah to seek out the Shadow and learn from him.
Good, let's begin. Lesson 1. Basic haunting. First, pick your victim.
Hannah and Shadow decide to work on her haunting skills by tracking down the mailman and messing with him by making his stuff float through the air. After the haunting, Hannah is completely exhausted and asks the shadow if that's all there is to being a ghost. To which he has no answers, so Hannah just walks off. Back at home, Danny is convincing his friends that he can talk to ghosts and seeks out Hannah to use her as a party trick.
You know, I heard about her. She's got 3 heads and she plays the piano.
Freddie, don't be such a wuss. They just make those stories up, you know, to keep little kids from going inside.
Yeah.
And falling through the floor or something.
It's not just stories, it's true.
Yeah? So prove it.
I can't. Nobody can see her but me.
Oh, really? How convenient.
Danny walks into Hannah's burnt-up house to beg her to forgive him and to do a trick for his buddies. But as he wanders around, a support beam is pushed over by the shadow, and Hannah intervenes at the last second to save him.
Danny! Just get out of here now!
Right. Jeez, first you saved my life and now you're yelling at me. I'll never figure out girls.
Here we get a little confusing, so buckle up. Hannah asks the shadow why he wants to hurt Danny. The shadow claims that Danny is destined to die by midnight tonight, which will give the shadow a shape in the form of Danny's ghost.
Hannah.
So the shadow isn't a ghost, but just part of a potential being that makes up a human spirit. I think there's a Tool song about this.
Become a ghost.
Anyway, we see Danny is back with his buddies who are disappointed by Danny being unable to back his claims. But they give him another chance.
Okay, we decided to give you one more chance to prove yourself worthy of hanging out with us. The coolest guys in town.
The 2 kids pressure Danny into stink bombing the mailman's house that night. Meanwhile, Hannah is searching for Danny to protect him from any accidents that could risk his life. Danny, at the mailman's house, sneaks in through a window and lights the bomb. But as soon as he does, the mailman wakes up and scares Danny into hiding in a closet. After the mailman leaves the room, the stink bomb ignites the entire room into flames, and Danny is locked in the closet with nobody realizing he's in there.
Help! Fire!
Hannah rushes into the flame to save him, wanting Danny to avoid the same fate as her, but she's too weak to lift Danny on her own. She decides the next best thing is to play the piano in the house to alert everyone outside that a person is still stuck in the building.
Oh my goodness. Do you hear that? There's someone inside. Please, thank you. Oh.
The mailman rushes back in and notices Danny on the floor, carrying him out to safely after noticing the piano playing by itself. As Danny is brought outside, Hannah realizes that it's after midnight and she has beaten the shadow.
Hannah, I can't see you anymore.
Danny, I'm right here.
Hannah? Hannah, where are you? Hannah!
Goodbye, Danny.
Hannah? Hannah? You've done a good job, honey. It's time to come home.
Goodbye, Danny.
Thank you, Hannah.
So Hannah saved the day and reunited with her family. Is it just me, or is it very weird that she has 2 younger siblings?
She never mentioned them.
Right? Like, at all. This whole time I thought she was an only child, and you know, that's sad enough with 2 parents and a child perishing in a fire, but then you throw in 2 more elementary school kids, and this is just next level sad. And you may be thinking, hey, maybe the book is a little more lighthearted. It's not. They made changes to make this more appeasing to fans on TV. In the book, it's explicitly said that Hannah did not put out a campfire, which led to her entire family burning to death. So she has to carry that guilt all the way into the afterlife. Also, in the ending of the book, when Danny's dragged out to the yard, she disappears before he even wakes up. She doesn't even know if he's alright.
The book really won't stop kicking this little girl when she's down.
It won't. And even though the episode was toned down to be more light and airy, it's always stood out to me as the saddest episode. And even when I was a kid, I didn't like watching it because it just made me upset. but now that I'm an adult that pays taxes and has genuine thoughts about his fiber intake, I can kind of appreciate the beauty in how dismal this situation is, and how Hannah's able to kind of build something better out of how this terrible thing has happened to her. Overall, I'm going to have to give Ghost Next Door 4 bumps out of 5. Check it out. And if you are at a campfire, for the love of God, make sure you put it out. You know, you don't want to burn your whole family alive because you're a little lazy one night. I mean, Smokey the Bear said it the best, only you can prevent forest fires. Yes, only you. I'm talking to you, Josh. Just you. You have to do it. Go to my house and put the fire out. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and if you made it this far, please subscribe. Alright, see you guys.
Okay, we decided to give you one more chance to prove yourself worthy of hanging out with us. The coolest guys in town. Are you ready?